Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders in Great Millstone, rule well, teach well with sincerity, honesty, and integrity. Brothers laboring is truth and sincerity. Salutations to you brothers and very few sisters believe in the truth wholeheartedly and sincerely. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, I'm going to just make this brief through the spirit and power Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Just quick update. Like I said, I was going to do an epistle through the spirit and power Yahweh Shem Yahushai regarding some news on what's going on with the world currency, what's going on with some currency around the world and how things are shifting. But ultimately, like I said in the last camp's video, it's going to all lead up into the MOTB. You know, like I if you had to ask me, speaking like a man, this is a controlled collapse of the global, the most world traded economy, which is the American dollar. You know, these international banking families, they're in charge of this thing. You know what I mean? They're in charge. They're actually doing this so they can come in and implement their new world order, which is that one currency. All right, and that how they're gonna do that. That's how that MOTB is gonna come into play. Whether we'll get that precept, but we'll just go through these precepts. Go through this article briefly, and with another article just to discuss things, clean things up. But just again, through the spirit and power Yahweh Shem Yahushai, things is happening in the world. And once we see these things coming to fruition, then that's the next phase has to happen, which eventually is that MOTB, man. So we're right on the doorsteps of that MOTB, which is a beautiful thing. All right, so the article was coming from First Post to Source. It says, dumping the dollar, will a new BRICS currency replace the U.S. currency for trade? The BRICS collectively comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is working on a common currency in an attempt to dent the U.S. dollar and push back against America's dominance. The move comes as Moscow and Beijing call for a de-dollarization in the face of the Western sanctions. All right, so ultimately, collapsing that dollar, like I said, is the number one traded currency in the world, will collapse a lot of economies. Right, so if that dollar's collapse, then a lot of economies they rely on the American dollar, because that's what they trade in. All right, so they trade and buy with the American dollar. So as a matter of fact, it's going to go into this actually, right? The U.S. dollar has been the official currency for international trade for years now. However, in recent times, there has been talk of of creating a new currency in an attempt to dump the dollar and push back against American hegemony. So, like I said, this is engineered. It's manufactured by the elites. They're not going to do something if they don't have a new plan in place. A new, you demolish something to put in to rebuild. You destroy and rebuild. Well, but they have a new plan that they want to put in place where it's 100% control of the people and their transactions and their movement with carbon footprint, everything that they do. So they want to have full control. And when they do that, they're going into a smart city, smart world, and for people to actually be a part of that system, to be plugged into that system, they have to be part of that transhumanism, which comes in the way of that MOTB. All right, so this is all coming into play through the spirit and power Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You seeing these things being done. You seeing the plans you seeing the curtains being closed on this old currency, and I'm bringing in a new currency. Whether they use these other nations to collapse the dollar, because see what happened is when that dollar does collapse, right, there's gonna be nothing but chaos, right? And then like that brother was saying, there's gonna be order without that chaos. And how they're gonna come with that order, that solution, which is that MOTB, a way for that one. They're gonna come in with an income that is the solution, which is that digital currency, that one world digital currency. All right. Quoted as saying that the BRICS nations are, matter of fact, The de-dollarization has received a boost in recent times, especially. Matter of fact, hold up, let me go back. Pushback against American hegemony. Okay, yeah, we said that. The de-dollarization has received a boost in recent times, especially after the Russia-Ukraine war began last February and last week. This movement received further impetus when Alexander Bubakov, the deputy chairman of the State Duma, was quoted as saying that the BRICS nations are in process of creating a new medium for payments established on a strategy that does not defend the dollar or euro. All right. Is the BRICS nations actually creating a new currency for trade? Who's the forefront of this movement? Will it benefit India? Will the plan actually fructify? There are several questions to the issue, and we answer to them all. All right. Dethroning the king of currency. The U.S. dollar has been called the king of currency. It became the official reserve currency of the world in 1944. The decision was made by a delegation from 44 allied countries called the Bretton Woods Agreement. All right. Since then, the dollar has enjoyed a powerful status in the world. It has given the U.S. disproportionate amount of influence over the economics. You see? See how that it has given the U.S. disproportionate amount of influence over other economies, because them using the dollar to trade in, makes it where they have a influence on that economy over with that nation's economy. All right. And that's why that's the power that comes into America with that they're using that American dollar. And if you don't fall in line and get in line, what do? They put sanctions on you. If that doesn't work, they use their military. All right. The U.S. has for long used for imposition of sanctions, as a tool to achieve foreign policy goals. I'm not even. See, there you go. They put sanctions on you if they don't see eye to eye. If you're not doing things in the manner they want you to do them, they're gonna put sanctions on you, just like how they try to do sanctions on Russia. Right now, USA has it backfired, but again, like I said, you gotta see it for what it really is. And again, like I said in Kent, it's all up to these international banking families. If they want to collapse the worldwide most traded currency, which is the American dollar, that means they have another plan in place to replace it. So you gotta be on the lookout for that. So if this does happen, just remember that MOTB is right around the corner, and it's gonna get rolled out shortly after. All right. However, not everybody likes playing by U.S. rules, and countries like Russia and China would like to call a halt to dollar hegemony. All right. Well, bottom line, I just said, they can't do anything without international banking families making that play, man. They all again rely on that American dollar. So if there's anything was to happen for this in their economies, like you just said, is influenced by that American dollar, like the article just said. So if any plan that was being made is gonna be made by those international banking families, they're elite. All right. But just wanted to touch on that. There's more in this article. You can read it, right? But ultimately, this is leading up to the MOTB. Matter of fact, we'll get that precept, get that scripture, to show you that who's in charge of who's going to be in charge of administering that MOTB. Who's going to be in charge of the rollout? What entity? And that's why you can't be. Matter of fact. Let's get that. Let's get that first. Revelation 13 and 16. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both. Matter of fact, let's start up 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. So now we got to understand what is the beast and who is the beast. All right. So the beast is EU and NATO, and America sitting on top of things. All right. As that whore. Right. So that's the beast. All right. So and he, which is the beast, causes all, both, so all, not some, all. All right, not just here in America, right? This is gonna be just like how the whole world had a halt when that whole Juicy Juice. I mean, well, the whole when that pandemic happened. Guess what? Guess who was in charge of that? It stemmed all the way back to them international banking families, because that was just the prelude to the MOTB. And the whole world had to observe it. It wasn't just, everybody in the world had to go under that had to follow the instructions and follow the agenda of the international banking families. And the same thing's going to happen when this MOTB is released, because they're the ones who's in charge, ultimately. All right? And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. You see? So that's how it's going to be. That currency is going to make it where, everybody's going to use that one world digital currency, man. That's what it's going to be. However however they the fine print and the details, that's, we'll see that when that happens. But it's going to be administered by the beast. The beast is going to be in spearheading that thing. All right, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right, because they want to have full control of you. Once they put that mark in you, which is that karago, right, and that's C to the A to the C, the H to the I to the P, right? Then they got full control over you, man. And that's what it ultimately is. That's you bowing down to the image of the beast. Now you are completely sewn into their system, right? And that's what they want. They want you to be completely on board to their system. If you're not on to that system, then you're gonna be against their agenda, and they're gonna have a problem with you, and you're gonna be deemed as enemy of the state, or enemy, an enemy towards their agenda. All right. So that's why you see these things happening in the world, like these companies looking like they're looking to position themselves to be the superpower, the one world currency. But I mean, their currency being the having a hegemony over all the rest of the nations, having a matter of fact, Salakia, having a building a hegemony where their currency, or their rollout of their new currency is going to be, is going to weaken the dollar, and then they're going to be the number one. Nah, we know through scripture, like it says through prophecy, that the beast is gonna administer that MOTB. So we know these things is happening so they can roll out that new plan, and the international banking families is in charge of all of this, man. Matter of fact, we'll get that. Don't be deceived, man. It's a beautiful thing because it is happening, and we pray that it does collapse, because then you will see chaos, and then they're gonna come with their solution, and then that means we're one step closer out of this fucking place. Slack you out of this place, man. Out of this place. And that's a beautiful thing, because once they come out with their MOTB, and we in Jacob's trouble, and that's that hour temptation, I mean, that's leading right into the prophet. That's gonna be the one of the last prophecies until the Lord can crack that sky, because like it says, is the hours are being shortened, so if the days wasn't shortened, Salakia, then there'd be no flesh left to be saved. And that's including the elect. So the Lord's gonna, you're gonna go through that hour of temptation, that trial, that tribulation, and then the Lord's gonna deliver His elect out of that trial and that tribulation. All right. So we know that is, if that is what's to come in the very near future, the collapse of the dollar. And they're gonna come with it and implement their new plan, and try to develop their new world order. And like the scripture says, that their enterprise is not gonna happen. Matter of fact, we'll get these precepts. Matter of fact, we'll go to 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant to the fact that this is a engineered controlled collapse. We're not ignorant to that. You know, we see it because we ultimately know who's going to be in charge when it comes to that MOTB. So whether they look like it's transferring power through that dollar, we can with their currency. We also know, no, that's just something just to show us that the dollar is going to collapse, and that means these world economies is going to collapse because they all rely on that dollar, you know. So in America's way of doing things. Matter of fact, yep, let me get that. Some real quick precepts. Job 5:12. He disappointed the devices, see those same devices, of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So matter of fact, let's get that precept. It's also in Job. See, so their hands not going to perform their enterprise. This is exactly what's going to happen right here. Hold on. Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, right? So in a position of difficulty, right? Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So that's talking about the laborers. All right. Matter of fact, let's see if it says it here. Yep, see the wicked, to the laborer, the sufferer, wretch, the laborer, the workman. All right, so we know that's not talking about Esau. All right, third part of mankind. So the wicked should come upon him when he's about to fill his belly. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai should cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain upon him while he is eating. So while he's looking to put that last bite of food and looking to complete his dominance over the world, you know, that beast, and using that and having full control and creating this new world order, the Lord's gonna come and destroy him, man. You see, because Esau is the end of the word and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. So he's gonna be destroyed. This is Esau Edom. Start going to that dragon, you got in Revelation, right? Going all the way up to that fourth beast, which is the NATO and the EU America, which is the revival of ancient Rome, the fourth beast, which is the revival of ancient Rome. This is Rome 2.0. This is that eighth head, you know, coming up, right? So, you know, yeah. So this is that because remember he was bound, but now he's gonna be loose for a little season. This is that little season we're in, man. And he's gonna be destroyed, man. And he's gonna be in charge of. He's gonna be empowered when Yahweh Shai comes. It's not gonna be China, Moab is not gonna be in charge when his power comes, man. Those nations is gonna be at war with the beast because things didn't go into their favor when it's all said and done. He's going to put the spirit on those kings and nations in Russia because things didn't go into the manner that they wanted to go when they implement that MOTB. They're going to see themselves that they got shortchanged, you know. So they're going to come at, and even those other nations of the EU, right? They're going to come, you know, they're of the EU and NATO. They're going to come against that whore, which is America, and they're going to wipe her off the face of the earth. You know, and that's the Lord who's gonna put the spirit on those kings in those different nations to do so. But see, they're gonna be in power. They're gonna be in power when Babylon is gonna be destroyed. They're gonna be in power when Yahweh Shai come, man. So we know there's not gonna be, we're gonna have time where, you know, China's in charge and No, that's not gonna happen. That's not prophecy. You see, it was prophecies that these the beast is gonna be in charge. These international banking families that's sitting on those high chairs in the beast system. You know, those are the ones that's gonna be that's gonna be in charge. That's gonna implement this MOTB. So don't be confused. Don't be ignorant to Satan's devices, man. Because they're the ones that's gonna be in charge, right? That's the prophecy. That's the Yahweh Shai. I think it's I don't wanna mess it up, but I think it's matter of fact, let's get it. Start at Daniel 2:32. The image's head was of fine gold, his beast, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron. So that's talking about the Roman Empire. His feet part of iron and part of clay. That's the continuance of his leg. That's what you see now, which is where it says part of iron and part of clay, because you have the iron with strong nations, economic nations, and then weak nations. All right. So that's the clay. The weak nations, the clay. Right. Thou sawest to it that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet. So that's Yahweh Shai, right? That were of iron and clay, and break them into pieces. That's who's going to be in charge. Yahweh Shai come and break them into pieces. That stone is going to be that Rome 2.0, right? It's going to be the revival of Rome, the Roman Empire, which is what you have within the beast system, and America spearheading it. All right, that's the whore that's sitting upon the beast. All right. Then was the iron, the clay, and the brass and silver and the gold broken to pieces, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. And that's Yahweh Shai, you know, to Zion, you know, became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. All right, so yeah, that's it. So that stone that's gonna break them feet is Yahweh Shai, man. So that we know who's gonna be in power. It doesn't say anything about the Chinese Empire, man. You know, that's the empire that's gonna be in power. Rome 2.0, the revival of Rome is gonna be in power when Yahweh Shai comes in. No other country is gonna be in power. So that's how we know who's gonna be in charge of that rollout of the MOTBs, the beast, the scriptures. We know that this collapse, these things are happening, and they're happening because the Lord put it in the spirit of these people to collapse the dollar so they could roll out that MOTB, man. That's the ultimate plan. They want to come through with their new plan, their new world order, man, their new way of doing things. And to do that, you have to take one thing out the way, destroy it, cause, like I said, in the problem, it's going to be the problem. There's going to be a reaction, which is going to be the chaos. And then there's going to be a solution, which is going to be the MOTB. All right, so with that, I pray that lesson will edify to the spirit and power. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakmadash.